So guys, welcome to this edition of Smart Talk. In today's Smart Talk, we are gonna discuss how to prevent burnout and how we can enhance our work-life balance through resilience. And for this edition of Smart Talk, we have Ms. Ragini Rao, and I would like to start with her introduction before we begin to the exact actual session. So, Ragini Rao, she is a psychotherapist and trainer with specializing the internationally followed and practiced framework on human behavior. She has over 25 years of experience as a mental health professional and has conducted several training programs on human behavior topics for corporate employees. Ragini Rao is the founder of Infinium Growth, an online platform with a qualified and experienced team providing counseling, psychotherapy, training, coaching, and mentoring services. The company also runs an online magazine with over 350 articles on different aspects of personal and professional growth written by experienced professionals. Infinite Growth has individual clients from 14 countries and corporate clients from India. On the Infinite Growth platform, Ragini also trains people to become certified counselors and psychotherapists using the transactional analysis framework. Welcome, Ragini ma'am.
Thank you, Gaurav, so much. And a very good afternoon to all of you. I think I want to start with saying I would love to have the videos on so that I can see everybody. And given that our topic is about um, human behavior and how things impact us, I would like that people keep their videos on and I can see you all. So very good afternoon again. I also like to introduce my partner, co-founder of Infinite Growth, Sridhar Rao, is also present with me today. And we started this online platform together. And like Gaurav said, he just told you about all the services that we provide. Yeah. So I think I'm still not seeing anybody with their videos on. Uh, Looks
So
like
let me start with me.
yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Rupali.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Gaurav. Yeah, I can see Anand. Hi, Anand. Yeah. Okay. Hi, Sanjay. Hi, Amrita. Hi, Mitesh. Okay, that's very nice. Thank you. Really appreciate you. Um, you know, Switching on your videos. Um, Before Gaurav is the I can share screen, right? You've given me um, sharing rights, right?
Yes, ma'am, you can share those.
Okay. So before I start, I just want to have a quick, question whether, what is your expectation? If I can just hear from one or two people, what is your expectation of this session today? I know you know the topic, but what are you expecting? Just one or two people. Be nice to hear that. Anybody?
This
Sanjay?
morning, yeah,
Yes.
I just come to know that to have a life balanced in our day-to-day works, which we are already going practice in systems, so we used to get more the mental stress and some other things is all going on. To know to overcome what is the some basic things we can learn from you. That's what I expect.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
uh,
Thank you. Thank you for that.
to expand to expand our knowledge more about the topic and as an HR, whatever the practice we know, I
Mm-hmm.
think we should add some more positive points to make impact about the topic.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yes, Sanjay, you want to say something? I thought I heard raise your hand, so I thought you want to say something. Okay.
He has put it in the chat.
Oh,
Sanjay
okay.
Yadav
Huh.
said, get more knowledge and balance our life.
Hmm.
And Rashida
Hmm.
says, what are the trigger points?
Ah, okay. Nice. Okay. So, very quickly, I can share what I'm going to cover today. One is, of course, what is burnout? Yeah, to really understand that. How does it show up? How does it manifest? And then, what are the psychological reasons? I think that is something that will be very important to understand. And then, of course, how do we manage? And as HR people, how is it that you can support your employees? And lastly, about how do we connect all this to the work-life balance? Yeah. So these are the couple of things that I'll be covering today. And I'll start with sharing my screen. Hmm, okay. So now go to window. Can you all see my screen? Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, yes. It's come up,
Yes.
but not like a full screen.
Ah, okay, wait, I need to close my window to do that, I think. This my Teams has got a slightly, yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay, can everybody see now fully?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Okay, so let's start with right away with what is the meaning of burnout and what are the symptoms. Yeah. Burnout is a feeling of exhaustion resulting from an inability to cope with one's everyday tasks, both at home and at work. Um, it is experienced not just by people who hold full time jobs, but also by teenagers, homemakers, senior citizens. And so, all of us at some point in our lives may experience it. Yeah, because it can, but whenever we feel overwhelmed, whenever we think we have too much on our plate, we can experience burnout. And how does burnout manifest itself? It manifests itself in different ways, emotionally, behaviorally, and physically. So, what are the emotional manifestations of burnout? It is a low mood, negative feelings, feeling irritated, frustrated, snapping at people, always feeling not yourself. Yeah? Those are the emotional signs. The behavioral signs could be becoming very impatient, losing, kind of becoming a performance dipping down, um, being absent from work often, and many other ways like withdrawing, not connecting with colleagues and friends, withdrawing from people socially. Yeah, all these may be the behavioral signs. And physically also it starts impacting our body, so we start falling sick often. We have pain in the neck, shoulders, we get stomach upsets, we catch flu often, and headaches. There could be different people may experience different things, but it all, I mean, is all of us will have some kind of a physical signs that will show up. And what is important to understand is all these manifestations are connected and one leads to the other. For instance, if I'm falling sick often, that itself pulls me down. And I keep wondering, okay, my God, why is this happening? Why am I feeling sick so often? Yeah, why am I catching? Because my immunity system goes down, you see, when I'm feeling low, when I'm overworked, right? So these are the ways it shows up. And let's look at now, which is really the crux of the problem, which is the psychological reasons for burnout. Now, all of us through our growing up years receive many do's and don'ts from our parents and other adults around us. Yeah, because as we grow up, we have our parents, we have our uncles and aunts, we have, grandparents, we have teachers, we have other well wishers, and everybody is telling us always, instructing us, giving us gyan, right? And so many things to tell us what to do, what not to do. And then what happens that these messages program us to become who we are and behave in certain ways that are unique to us. Yeah. And because of the kind of things that we have heard from our parents that they've told us to do certain things or not to do certain things. And that is what shapes our personality. And they also lay the foundation of what defines our values and beliefs. Yeah, we start believing that this is the way to live our life. We also start understanding the principles of our life, that is our values. Yeah, values of honesty, values of integrity, value of being on time, punctuality. Yeah? So many other values like that, values of friendship, yeah? And beliefs also. And of course, beliefs can be both negative and positive. So there's a psychologist in the 1970s, Taibi Kala. He identified 5 drivers or working styles that we all imbibe from childhood. And these drivers we imbibe because of all these messages that we get. And what are these? These are be perfect, be strong, please others, try hard, and hurry up. And mind you, these are the words that, they are simple English words and they exactly mean what you're hearing them. And I'll explain each one of them in a bit. But before that, I also want to say that these drivers are like beliefs we hold about us and also the others and people around us. And we believe that, and these are beliefs that have helped us cope with our situations right from childhood to now as adults. Yeah. So they have their positives and they have their flip side too. Yeah? So let's understand what these 5 mean. So the first one, be perfect. The be perfects, the people who have this be perfect driver, believe that they're worthy only if they do things perfectly. So what does that mean? They have a very high standard of, quality of work is very high. The standard is really high, and they want perfection in anything and everything they do. But the flip side to it is that they do not like making mistakes and they do not like others also making mistakes. So what happens is that perfection drives them to become difficult people, not only for themselves, but for people around them. Yeah. So, and how can that impact their work? Because they are be perfects, they want, they strive so much for doing it to the, making it to the T, marking it to the T, that they may miss deadlines, they may not keep their timelines in place. Yeah? So that is the be perfect. The be strong are people who think they're worthy, uh, to be worthy, they need to manage everything by themselves, not express their feelings or ask for help. Yeah. And I think we've all heard that, right? Be brave. Don't show your feelings. Why are you crying? The moment a boy cries, he's always told, don't cry, right? We've heard all this as in our growing up years, and to many girls also. So what happens in the how that impacts us is that we start believing that we have to be strong. We have to be strong, not show our feelings, not express our feelings, and never ask for help. While that's the flip side, the positives of Be Strong are that they are capable of doing a lot of work. They can manage a lot. They are actually the pillars of society. Yeah, you'll find that they can really, even in a crisis situation, they can be very, they can hold fort. Yeah, they are people like that. However, being a human being, when it gets so stretched, they can also succumb, and they can have a nervous breakdown. And that's when that can lead to burnout. That's the flip side. The please others are people who think that they're worthy only if they take care of others' needs, and thus tend to ignore their own needs, because that's the message they have been told. Yeah, you can't do that. Oh, what will they think? What will others think? What will that auntie think? What will that uncle think? Those are the messages in childhood. And so we grow up thinking, and so even at the workplace, we don't want to displease anybody, whether it's a senior or a team member or a colleague or whoever, right? And so we land up taking on a lot of work. And in the process, we also ignore our own needs. So this then eventually starts impacting our health physically, emotionally, and mentally. The hurry ups are people who believe that to be worthy, they need to keep doing things, many things, and they should never relax. Because the message they have been told is, Jaldi karo, keep doing. Yeah? There's no time, hurry up, come on, finish this task, finish that, as children. Yeah? So even as adults, there is a sense of restlessness. There is a sense of that I have to do a lot in a short period of time. So they cannot relax. So when somebody continues to do this for a long time without pausing, without taking breaks, that is when it can be detrimental. The fifth one, the try hard, believe that to be worthy, they have to struggle and keep proving themselves to others. Yeah? Because they have been told, work hard. Work hard is a very good message. It's a very good value to keep. But when we keep trying hard and we keep struggling to achieve something, and without realizing that is it really possible or not, that is when it leads to burnout. Yeah? So these are the five psychological reasons why all of us may at some point reach, can experience burnout. So before we go into thinking about burnout per se, I want to just pause for a minute and ask you to reflect on these five. And are you able to relate to any of these five um, drivers for yourself? Anybody?
Yeah, I think yes, I do.
Yeah. Can you say a little
Yeah.
more if you're okay to?
Yeah, so I think for me it's be strong because in our family we have a nuclear family and we both are sisters, so there is no brother.
Mm-hmm.
So from the childhood, it's always like because I'm the elder one, so I have to take responsibility of all the things, whether it is the kitchen, whether it is electrician, blah, etc., etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
So I think sometimes I feel that okay, I'm very strong because I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But yes, there are some points which, when I think about it, oh no, I don't want to. I
Yeah.
want to be feminine again. I want to be women again. I want to wear a nice suit with earrings, have lipstick, have little makeup. So I think that is also somewhere very, very important. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
how life is going on. But yeah, I'm very happy to
Yeah.
be strong as well.
Yeah, yeah. So that's an important part, the point that you're making. Yeah, that yes, it has its plus points. It has its advantages. However, we need to the important thing is of self-awareness about how we can pause and we can take that the how when we can step back and say, okay, this is becoming too much now, and I don't want to be strong right now. Yeah, if we are able to do that, then we are creating the balance. Yeah, actually, this is very much connected to the balance that we are going to talk about.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I certainly realize, I think 2 years back, I've been practicing for a long period of time.
Mm.
So in weekends, especially, I do it. I give to myself, pamper myself, and watch a movie and do whatever things that I like to keep a balance between the strong, independent, and to be a pampering child once again in my life.
Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Have you been able to kind of connect to the drivers?
So in chat box, there are multiple messages. Yes,
Okay.
Sashi,
Mhm.
Amruta. Yes, so Sashi, Amruta, if you can unmute yourself and open up if you're comfortable.
I
Yes,
think when I'm
yes.
sharing, I can't see the chat box, I think. Yeah. Please, if
Yes.
somebody can read out or you can share, I'll be very happy to hear
Yeah.
that.
Yes, ma'am. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you mentioned about be strong. I can very well connect myself with that particular, driver, because uh, I've been brought up like that to be
Mm.
strong every time, to be independent,
And
to
yeah,
go out, to speak out to yourself confidently.
right.
Um, yeah, so I've been brought up like that. So I can very well connect myself with that particular, driver which you mentioned. And I was, the way you were explaining, I could see a picture of, the movie running behind back of my mind, how I was as a child and how I am now also.
Okay, wonderful. Really glad to hear that you've so quickly connected it to yourself.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, thank you. I think one more person, you said, Gaurav, one more person has written something.
Yes, Sashi was there. Sashi, if you're okay, you can unmute yourself and share. Yeah, I guess Sashi is not
Yeah,
comfortable.
okay.
So,
So, Gaurav, can you just
Sashi's,
read it out? Yeah, yeah, Sridhar, you can read it out.
Sashi's message is I related to be perfect and hurry up.
Okay,
Two,
yeah.
not one, two.
Yeah, and we can have all five. So be perfect and hurry up is a deadly combination, by the way. Yeah, because we want to be perfect and then we want to hurry up also, and they are really like two opposites, right? Because when we want to be perfect and not make mistakes, we will take more time, and the hurry up can make you so anxious. I can just imagine how it can be. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yes, and
Thank-
ma'am, the recent incident which has happened in one
Yes.
MNC,
Yeah.
so we can relate to this fourth one, hurry up, because she was kind of a fresher, new in the system, and she
Yes.
wanted to be, worthy, and so she kept pushing hard and hard and hard, and at the end, what happened is in front of the world right now.
Yeah. Thank you, Gaurav, for bringing that up. I thought I'll bring it up in the end, but we can speak about it now. How I was understanding about this girl was really a be strong and a try hard. Yeah. I think a young person coming into, starting her career, really thinking, oh, I should do my best. I must, really, I should not succumb to small things and really work hard to make a name, to make a place for myself, which is all very, I think they're very nice values and beliefs and intentions to hold, but not at the cost of our life. Yeah. I think that is what we all need to understand, that all of this is really nice, but I think just overworking ourselves. And the point that I also want to bring is, while I think the organization really should have been more mindful of how they are putting so much pressure on a young person, and even the immediate superiors needed to have noticed what's happening to this girl. But by really, how can each one of us take responsibility for ourselves? And I think by understanding, like, one of the ways we can understand these things are understanding our drivers. Really, what is it that kind of pushes us, drivers? Why do we call these drivers? Why do we call them drivers? Because we believe that if we are not perfect, if we are not hurrying up, if we are not being strong, or if we are not pleasing others or not trying hard, then we are not worthy. Sorry, is somebody saying something? Hello?
No,
It
I
must
think
Yeah.
be
the
Okay,
some.
it's
mic
a
is
Yeah.
off.
background. Okay, okay, sorry. Yeah. So I'm saying that these are, by understanding our drivers and how they drive us, how they push us. Yeah. Um, we can take responsibility for how, what we can do about it. Yeah? So I will now move to the next part, which is of course again very important, as to how do we start building resilience? How do we reduce and manage burnout? Yeah, I think the first and foremost is acknowledging what we are experiencing, and emotionally, physically, and behaviorally. And really, self awareness is such an important aspect of this. Really, to be aware at any given point of time, what am I feeling? What are my thoughts? How are my feelings and thoughts impacting my behavior? Yeah, to really understand that, to be aware of it, to acknowledge it, yeah, what you're experiencing. Because unless I acknowledge it, nobody else is going to ever going to know about it. Yeah, I have to acknowledge it and of course express it also. Second, learning to set boundaries, both at work and at home. Yeah? Because it's really that much one can do, right? We have to be practical about the amount of work one can do. So you attend to the important ones and say, okay, the rest of it can be kept for the next day. Yeah. So how do we learn to start boundaries, set boundaries? If I'm about to leave for home and there's some work that's come on my table, is it okay for me to say, is it okay if I look at it tomorrow? Yeah. These are small ways in which, and you can see how our drivers can keep impacting us in all of this. Acknowledging what you're experiencing. Be strongs will have very difficulty acknowledging what they're experiencing, because they've been always told, don't feel, right? They've been told, be strong. Right? And learning to set boundaries, please others, and both be strongs will say, oh, I can do a lot. Yeah. So I don't need to set boundaries. I mean, they're not even thinking of boundaries. Same with please others people. Yeah. Because the boss has told me, oh, I have to finish this also. Of course, if there a deadline, is there a, there is a product launch, there's something important that's happening, yes, we do stretch ourselves. But do we have to stretch ourselves every day? Yeah? So these are questions to ask. There are no right and wrong answers in this. It is about becoming aware, becoming mindful of what I can do in a given situation. Yeah? Taking breaks. short ones during the day as well as longer ones in a quarterly basis. And like you shared just now, keep your weekends free. So lovely to hear that you just shared, right? Yeah, that you keep your weekends free and you're not, you just don't do anything. You take care of yourself. Wonderful. That's really one of the best ways to manage and reduce burnout. Practice self care, daily physical exercises, either a walk or go to the gym or do yoga, whatever suits you. Yeah, there is no one thing that fits all, right? Meditation, just practicing simple centering, breathing exercises are very good to start with. Then, if that's something that you feel drawn to, then you can go into meditation. But simple breathing, just deep breathing, becoming aware of your breath itself to begin with can be very relaxing and can calm yourself down. Fun time, spending time with family, with friends, having really letting your hair down, like we say. Yeah, those are important ones. Share your thoughts and feelings with family members, friends, or colleagues. Yeah, so much happens when we share. Sometimes when we are sharing, we realize, oh, maybe I'm just making it so big in my head. And I share, I feel so much lighter, right? That's a very simple way and yet a very important way to take care of ourselves. Delegate tasks at work and at home. We don't have to do everything ourselves. Again, I go back to the Be Strongs who think that they have to do everything on their own. You know? Adjust expectations from self and others. What does that mean? Meaning that I have such high standards for myself that I find it so difficult to, let go of that this is how it should be. You know? So really saying it's okay. It's okay if I can finish some tasks today and come back and finish some other tasks later. Yeah. So really expectations and also allowing that for others. Yeah, because when we put pressure on ourselves, we're also putting pressure on others. Yeah, it's not just for us, it's about the people around us who are in our team, whom we are working with, also get impacted in all this. Focus on what you can control, which is what helps us take responsibility. Yeah, so what is in my control? What can I, you know what can I what is possible for me to do in this work? Yeah, and maybe there are other things that are dependent on others, but can I finish my part and leave and not start worrying about what others are doing? So that helps me to take responsibility. Pay attention to your nutrition and sleep habits. Yeah, eating habits are very important, and so is sleep. To get 6 to 8 hours, definitely. I mean, for younger people, I think 8 hours is very important. Yeah, 6 to 8 hours is minimum sleep that anybody needs. Yeah? Reevaluate your goals and values. Yeah? Your goal is to become a manager by the end of the year and a director and all kinds of you want to climb the ladder soon, right? But let's be practical about these things. Yeah, is it really a practical goal, and are you killing yourself trying to achieve these goals? Have realistic goals and take baby steps to achieve them. Let's not take large steps. There's a beautiful Japanese, a word for it, kaizen. Yeah, which is means can I make changes 1% change? Yeah, so can I move? Can I do improve myself or do something more just by 1%. Yeah. So that is we break our goals into smaller steps. Yeah. And not think that we will take large, large steps, and that puts pressure on us. But taking small, taking baby steps and keeping our goals small and realistic can help us to relax and enjoy our work. Um, Make changes in your environment if possible. Yeah. So you have tried everything and still things are not happening. Then you can talk. You can talk to your superiors to see you want to change your team, you want to change your nature of your work. And of course, the worst is that, if you're not really fit for this job, you want to look for another job. Yeah. And this is true in our personal life also. Yeah. Are we struggling with a relationship? And how do we then look at that? Yeah? So, and the last, of course, when we have tried everything, and not really not after we have tried, sometimes we find it's not always possible to deal with our difficulties by ourselves. So it is possible, and it is important for us to take professional help, yeah, to manage our stress, and to seek support and guidance when needed. Yeah. Any any reflections at this point, and then I will. Anybody? Okay, I will. I just have one more slide, and then I will finish, and we can open it out to questions then. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, we can.
Yeah. So, so coming to work-life balance and how we connect all this is work-life balance is understood normally, seeks to draw a clear lines between time allotted to workspace and personal life. Yeah. It is about drawing clear boundaries between the two. If you pause to think, it's really about choosing one over the other or prioritizing either one. So we are choosing between work and life, and that's how we looked at work life balance. I want to introduce this concept of work life integration. Yeah? Work life integration, on the other hand, is about viewing the two spaces as one with convenient structuring in order to meet both needs effectively, bringing a dynamic equilibrium between professional and personal life. What we really mean is it's not about choosing work or life. It is you know, about both of them coexisting in harmony. You know? How can we look at life? See, with ever since COVID, we've all, this whole work from home culture has um, has started, right? All of us, so many of us are working from home now. And what has that also done? It has also made our work timings flexible. Yeah, we work at different times. Some people like to work early morning. Many people, many organizations, especially those who are connected with Europe and America, they start much later because to match with the timings there. So basically, it's flexi time, right? So what does flexi time do? Flexi time allows you to integrate your work and your personal life. Yeah. Because you can finish some work in the morning, you can attend to your children, you can attend to your housework, and you, you know, you do your other meetings and other work too. So what happens is then when we are able to enjoy, when we are able to also attend to our personal life, it gives us more energy to do well at work. And that is work-life integration. Yeah, it is not about choosing one over the other, but it is about really both coexisting in harmony. Yeah. Now, lastly, how can HR, as human resources people, how can you build awareness and provide support to your employees? Provide an environment where employees are listened to without judgment. Yeah. Sometimes they don't need our advice. Many times people don't need our advice. They need a listening ear. Yeah. They need somebody to hold space where they can crib, where they can just vent out. Yeah. Encourage team to speak out if they are not able to handle issues. Yeah? That's so creating a space where such things can happen. Create small fun breaks on a daily basis. Encourage short leaves per quarter. Yeah, if people can take those breaks, that would be very, very helpful. Provide teamwork skills training to build sensitivity, trust, and empathy. And I think empathy goes a long way in how teams can work together. Just being sensitive towards each other. How can we, how can we understand what's happening to the other person? Yeah. How does it feel when, when an employee has got a parent who's probably suffering from some illness at home and is still coming to work and handling so much? What would it be for that person? Or maybe the child is unwell, yeah, or maybe something else is happening. How do they how are they coping with it? To really be sensitive about such things. Encourage open discussions between superiors, subordinates, and also between colleagues. Periodic talks on mental health and well-being to build awareness. Absolutely important. It is not just important to have talks, but also to create a culture which is of building awareness, self awareness, and creating a space where it's okay for people to express their feelings and thoughts. Building self awareness through content sharing, workshops, etc., and encourage people to take counseling help without feeling awkward about it, or because there's such a stigma with taking counseling help that people want to people are very hesitant. Yeah. So encourage people to seek help. When we have a physical ailment, we are so quick to go to the doctor, right? We don't hesitate to go to a doctor. But when we have an emotional issue, when we have a mental health issue, we always hesitate to go to a counselor or a psychologist or a psychiatrist. Yeah? So to really say, no need. I think it's human. It's human to have these problems, and therefore it's our right to seek help. Okay, so with that, I finish my presentation and I'll stop sharing and open it out to questions.
So, ma'am, there are a few questions.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is one question by Shilpi. First, she has two questions. Number one is, how does self-awareness help in managing burnout?
Okay. Yeah. That's so self-awareness what is self-awareness first? Self-awareness is about understanding our thoughts, understanding our feelings, understanding how these thoughts and feelings are all impacting our behavior, right? So, and like I said, now I shared these 5 drivers, right? So are these drivers impacting me? Yeah. When I'm self-aware, I start understanding that, oh, my be perfect is really driving me up the wall, or my be strong is coming in the way of seeking help. Yeah. So this way, when I become aware of what is it that's bothering me? What is it that's not allowing me to do something about my problem? Yeah, that is how self-awareness helps us to deal with burnout, because I don't reach that place. I catch the problem when it starts. Yeah, burnout is the extreme, because I've been months, I have been struggling with a problem, and then it leads to a burnout and it leads to a breakdown, right? But when I'm self-aware, I catch it. I catch it. I nip it in the bud. I catch it when it starts. Yeah, that's what self-awareness does to us. Next question.
Cool. So next question is, how do counseling and therapy help?
Okay. So there's a little bit of difference between counseling and psychotherapy. Counseling is, you have an immediate problem, and you can seek a counselor, and the counselor, through questioning, through understanding what's happening to you, will kind of ask you questions which will help you to reflect, and through that you will find your answers to solve your problem. Yeah, it's very much about in the here and now what's happening and how you can solve your problem. Whereas psychotherapy is a deeper process. Psychotherapy is about understanding, going into the roots of our problem, going into understanding how childhood experiences impacted us, and how those experiences have created patterns in our life, patterns of behavior, and how that continue to impact. So psychotherapy is a longer process which really requires to look within and to see how we can start making changes. And it's also about accepting ourselves, to see, okay, this is what it is, this is how my childhood was, what can I do about it now? Yeah, it's about understanding. It's a longer process, it's a deeper process, whereas counseling is dealing with immediate, here and now issues. Yes.
Guys, you can ask question in chat box, or else you can even unmute yourself and ask question. First,
Yes,
raise your hand.
please.
Yeah,
Yeah,
please.
unmute, and please put on your cameras too, so I can see you. And
Hi, ma'am.
yes.
So I'm sorry I cannot put on my camera because the camera is disabled, but still, my question is that because as an HR also, or as in a person, if I'm counseling someone, an employee, or somewhere or the other, sometimes a stranger or a person bigger than an age,
Mm,
maybe they could be a parent or someone else.
mm,
So, how to make someone so much comfortable to make them understand that actually we really meant by saying that we'll not judge you. So it's hard to make them comfortable with that line because they'll think about once, twice, maybe a week to
mm,
understand, and then they come out of a problem. That okay, now I have this problem. So I just wanted to know that I'm doing the right practice or something more I should know about it.
mhm. So you're saying that you have said that you are not judging. Well, so what do you do? How do you explain to them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Can you repeat that?
Yes, yes. My meaning is this because if we generally speak up straightforward that okay, tell us your problem, will not judge you, but sometimes they do not understand or it does not make them feel comfortable, so they require a lot of time to trust someone, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
how do make that thing?
Yeah. So you can continue to tell them that, that. So one of the ways is to tell them that you are there for them, you are there to support them. And when they are ready, they can speak to you. Yeah. So that then gives them the confidence that you really mean what you say. Yeah. Sometimes when we push them, then they feel intimidated. Yeah. Or they can feel scared also. Right. So to continue to tell them, yes, and tell them that you are there for them, and they can speak when they are ready. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Any more questions coming on the chat? Or
Yes, I have one question. My name is Charu.
yeah, Charu, go
Yes,
ahead.
I'm working as an HR executive in a software development company.
Mm-hmm.
So, my question is like, we have different kinds of employees in a company.
Mm-hmm.
Like they would have been from college, from college, or anywhere in and around in other organizations and all. But
Mm-hmm.
how will they adapt to a new environment if the it if it is totally opposite from their existing one, or if it is if they are fresher, they are
Mm-hmm.
comfortable with their own environment kind of thing. If
Mm-hmm.
we put up some policies or procedure or rules to be in a company, so
Mm-hmm.
if they are feeling difficult to adapt to all those
Mm-hmm.
rules and regulations and all, so that would may bring a burnout to the employees. So how we can handle that?
Yeah. So I think again, it is about Charu. It is about consistent communication with these youngsters to ask them what is it that's bothering them about these policies or these regulations
Mm-hmm.
that are there. What is it, because there are realities also, right?
Yes.
As organizations, their policies will be there, some regulations will be there. Yeah,
Yeah.
for them also to understand that they have to work within this, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't mean
Yes.
that they have to, reach a point of burnout, right?
Okay.
The
Okay.
idea is to communicate, to constantly see how can I readjust myself, how can I reinvent myself, how can I add some, that's the building of resilience, right?
Okay.
So I think speaking about it, seeking help, seeking support, these are the ways. And if as HR people, you can give that support to them. Yeah. You can say, okay, whenever you're feeling a little stressed, please come and speak to me. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see what we can do. Let's see how we can work things out for you. Right?
Okay.
Rodney, I'll just like to add one point
Yeah,
here
sure.
to what you're saying, both
Mm,
for Charu and the previous lady who asked the question. That,
sure.
in any interaction, people open up once familiarity builds.
Mm-hmm.
And here, if HR is sitting in one corner of the office and the person is sitting in another corner of the office and they've really never met each other except once in a month for some issue, that familiarity is not there. And this happens typically in offices, especially as the employee numbers increase, people don't know each other. So the slide which was shown towards the end by Ragni about what all HR can do, I think the thing is, if we focus on some of these activities of getting connected with the employees, and they know that they can trust you, they know that you are empathetic to them, they know that you are sensitive to them, is when they will voluntarily come forward and open up. And you are their teammate. You are not even some external counselor or somebody. You are a teammate. So to that extent, if you are able to build that connect, that's where I think the difference will come.
Yeah,
Oh.
and I just want to add here that it's not just through words. I think the body language is also very important. How are you communicating that support and that empathy through your body language? Yeah, are you meaning what you? I mean, is it visible through your body language what you're saying? Yeah, sometimes we say things for the sake of saying, right? It cannot be that. It has to be really that you mean it. Okay, I can see somebody else raising the hand. Mohan Babu, somebody. Yes, Mohan, please ask your question.
Sir, we can't hear you. If you can. Sir, we can't hear you. You can simply, put question in chat box.
Meanwhile, there is another question, Ragini, in the chat box by
Okay.
Lohit.
Ah.
What are the early signs of burnout that managers should be aware of in their teams?
Yeah, I think I'll go back to, when I talked about the behavioral signs, yeah, because those are more visible than the, or the physical ones, which are like, you'll see, suddenly the employee not coming to office, absenteeism is increasing, or suddenly you'll see there are a lot of errors in the in the reports, or the whatever work they are doing. So these are if you see a sudden change in anything, in their work, in their behavior, those are the those are the early signs. Yeah, that's how you can see, and that is a good time for you to ask them what's happening to them. Yeah, to engage with them in a conversation to see how you can help them. Yeah.
And there was one question a little earlier by Shilpi. How to tackle prolonged work hours which cause burnout?
I think that the answer has to come from the organization. Yeah. uh, I think what can, yeah. So I go back to the question on what's in my control. So if I have to work long hours, for instance, like I was saying, there's some deadline, something, there's a launch happening or something, and it is yeah. So even if I have to work long hours, can I take breaks? Yeah. Can I do things in between that help me to relax? Yeah. Take 10 minutes, 15-minute breaks in between. Yeah? I think really these are some of the things. Maybe just listen to a chant or a music just for 5 minutes to relax ourselves. To really, I think it's about changing our lifestyle in a way. Small practices that can make a big difference. And impact us in the long run. Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions on the chat box? I can't see.
Yes.
Is there?
So there's one question by Rahul. How is burnout different from regular work-related stress? Is there any difference as such?
Yeah. See, work-related stress will be there on and off. Work-related stress is a more it comes and it goes. But what happens in burnout is that there is it starts and it starts accumulating, and there is a kind of a breakdown. Yeah, that is a burnout. Yeah, when the person succumbs totally and feels that he can't do anything more. Yeah, like in the case of this uh, young person who died. I mean, that's the worst. But many times what happens, people land up with a terrible physical ailment. Yeah, and they are hospitalized, or sometimes people have a nervous breakdown. So that is a burnout, that reaching that absolute, like it's like reaching the end of it. Whereas work related stress is temporary, it comes. There are some days which are difficult, there are some lighter days, some better days. Yeah, it's a more, I think, uh, yeah, that's the way I would say it.
So there is one more question by Tanmay. In what ways can leadership and management practice reduce the influence of burnout levels among employees? Other kind of practices?
Yeah, I think what I shared with you just now on what HR can do is really something that the leadership, also needs to take care of. Really, to encourage people to take breaks, to talk, to provide space for, if there is a problem brewing or a problem coming up, then how can we communicate? How can we attend to it? I think it's really that. Hmm?
So in the similar line, there's one more question. How can managers support employees who are showing signs of burnout?
Yeah. So being sensitive towards them, saying, okay, how can the company help them? How can HR help them? So really asking them what kind of support and help that they need. Yeah? I think the most important here is communication, uh, giving space for people to express. I think when employees start feeling that they are being supported and the HR actually is concerned about their stress levels, and the organization really cares for me, that itself will actually release the stress for them, because many times it's in their heads, it's like it's in their minds that, my god, I've got to do so much, right? But if companies and HRs can explain to them that they're not alone in it, there are so many people to share the work, and we can do it together. I think that that collaboration and that cooperation that can be brought in, I think that can be conveyed to them, that can help uh, with burnout.
I'll just
So
add one to this. Gaurav, just 1 minute, because these
yes, sir, sure.
couple of questions were on similar direction, leadership and management practices. So the important thing is also for the management to uh, be open enough to see, what is happening, and therefore maybe restructuring is a critical part. There are cases, and we have seen those in many instances, where the team structure continues to remain the same irrespective of how much pressure is coming. Now, these are basics that any organization needs to do, which is to redesign the structure, maybe reallocate responsibilities, etc. So the management has a very key role to play to stay alert to the level of pressures building up on the employees, and that is a sign of a good management.
So, sir, if you can, put a light on what are those signs or the symptoms of a burnout employees. So, if I'm a manager of a team, so how can I identify what are those signs that my team is
I
under?
think Ragini had explained that a little while earlier. Ragini,
Yeah.
key signs and symptoms of burnout in
Yeah.
employees.
So, like I said, there are three different, we can primarily put them into three, yeah, which is, emotional signs, physical signs, and behavioral signs of burnout. Emotionally, you'll feel that you'll see that the person is, feeling very low. He's got negative thoughts, low in confidence, maybe irritable, snappy, losing their cool, all of that. And physically, they may be falling sick often. They could be experiencing headaches, stomach aches, shoulder pain, and all of that. And behaviorally, you'll find that they are taking a lot of, suddenly you'll find they are absent from work a lot more than before. Their performance level is also reduced. They're making a lot of errors in their work. Yeah. And generally you're finding that the person is not himself. Yeah, that's a good sign. Yeah, if you put all of it together, it's a good way to say, when you suddenly see some changes in people, suddenly they're withdrawn, they're not, they're not even speaking to their colleagues or their subordinates or superiors. That is also that's also a sign of burnout. Hmm?
Yes, thanks.
So
So there's one question by Sashi. So how to help employees who are suffering under a strict manager who is a perfectionist and not too ready to listen to the employees and putting the workload on the team,
Yeah. So
question
the
from the heart.
yeah. So the superior needs help, not the subordinate. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I
but
think
how does the employee deal with a be perfect manager? I think that's really the question. A perfectionist
hmm,
and not listening.
yeah.
So what would be the employee's reaction?
Yeah, but I think that's the time when the employee needs to connect with the HR person and talk to them. Because sometimes, superiors may not be even open to hearing, right? And if he's such a be perfect and so strict, then there is no room for conversation there, right? So that is when the employee needs to go, seek help of the HR to see how that can be handled. And sometimes subordinates and junior people can feel very intimidated and very scared to even voice their opinion, right? So creating that space for people to come and speak itself is an important thing in organizations. Yeah.
So which is where the role of HR becomes important,
Yeah.
and
Two things.
they that intermediary in a way, and that's really so critical. At least the HR should be able to go talk to the manager. If that
Yeah.
is also not possible, then the organization is in serious trouble. That's for clear.
Mm.
That's clear.
Yeah.
But I would like to add here, Ragini, based on what I'm also listening to this, that one of the key things which HR could take up is to build that, and I think we mentioned it in the points there, that build that confidence in the team through regular,
Yes.
programs and sharing of information, content, etc., which is so
Yeah.
useful because that starts adding value to the employees. Um, the more, doing short programs is a good idea for employees to become a little more aware. The more awareness you build for employees on the behavioral aspects, the more they will be in a position to manage these kind of issues better. That's a fundamental thing and it's not always about a workshop or a training program. It can be just content being shared, for example. There has to be a certain process that HR needs to work on. And there are companies, lots of companies are doing that. There's a lot of connection between HR and the team in terms of self-improvement on a continuous basis, which HRs do. That is the key to really ensuring everybody is moving up the ladder and evolving in the organization.
Yeah. And really creating an overall environment which is conducive to, there is a non-judgmental attitude, there is empathy, there is care, there is connection. All these, if these values can be, it becomes a part of the environment, that is when, I think the overall impact is far more when the environment is like that. Okay.
I guess this is one last question. So okay, yes. What basic process can an employee follow to avoid burnout at the workplace? Basic practices.
I think we've covered that. Looks like they've missed it, or yeah.
Would you like to just share that slide once more? It might be simpler.
Okay, I'll do that. Can you see the slide?
Yeah, it's on the last page. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, now moving.
Yeah. So these are the ways you can manage and reduce your burnout. Acknowledge what you're experiencing emotionally, physically, and behaviorally. Learn to set boundaries. Take breaks, short ones during the day as well as longer ones on the quarterly basis. Keep your weekends free. Practice self care, daily physical exercises, meditation, fun time, and also take out time to share your thoughts and feelings with a family member, friend, or colleague. Delegate tasks or share your work with even at home and at work. Don't think that you have to do all the work, everything by yourself. Adjust expectations. Yeah. So be realistic with your expectations about yourself. Focus on what you can control. That helps you to take responsibility. Pay attention to your nutrition and sleep habits. Reevaluate your goals and values. Make changes in your environment. And last and not the least, take professional help as and when you realize you're not able to manage your stress. You
Ravi,
can
can you
ask,
just go to the last page?
huh? The earlier,
Can you go to the last page, please?
yeah, okay.
I just want to share the last one. Yeah.
This one?
No, last one. Well, about
Ah,
the company. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I just wanted to share with everybody here that you can check out the site infinimgrowth.com, where we have loads of articles, variety of articles, about some 350 plus articles are there now, written by professionals working in different organizations or in who are themselves therapists and trainers, etc. Simple, easy to read articles, and this could give you a kind of some insights on for your own self, and there may be something interesting which you could share with your employees. This is the kind of content which I was mentioning earlier, that there's so much content around, but if you curate it smartly and share it with the employees, there's a lot of learning out there without having to spend even 1 minute on some special program or anything like that. So please do, I would request HRs to please check out the site infinimgrowth.com, and if there's anything else you want, any help you need or anything, you could always reach out to us at contact@infinimgrowth.com also. We have a good team of professionals, and we are sort of available with multiple support systems. So you'll get ideas, even if you don't take any services, etc. You will get ideas when you just go through the content.
So I guess there is one last question. Any tips to make introverted personality person to open up about the issues they are facing? Because there are sometimes the people they don't open up.
Um, yeah, I think it is harder with introverted people because they are shy, and of course they're you know it is difficult for them to really trust people, or believe that people can be nice to them. So therefore, really, to like I said earlier also, I think talking to them and convincing them that
People.
you mean well for them, you are there to support them, and and just say that it's helpful. So like Sridhar was saying, actually sometimes reading a book can help. Yeah. So sharing something with them, sharing some article or something with them can be very useful with introverted people. Yeah, because they are good listeners, and they are good on reflecting on their own. Yeah? But the important thing is that as long as they are able to understand that you mean well for them, they will open up. It takes them time, it takes them much more time than others. but they will. Once they are convinced that you mean well, they will open up.
Okay, I guess there are no more questions.
Hmm.
Uh, which is the best way to, contact you, like from the website only, or do you have any contact number through which, any HRs or employee people can, reach out to you?
Yeah, so we have the email ID we have shared there, contact
Okay.
at infinumgrowth.com, right? I'm writing it out here in the chat also. Please write to us here. If we would be happy to at least explain what all we are doing, and then you can see for yourself what makes more sense to you. We have mobile apps now, both Android and Apple. People can download the content which we have is all for free. People can just read them and read articles whenever they want. It's there on their phone. We're anyway phone obsessed people nowadays. So there's one more item available, but at least it's good for self-improvement. So check it out. And we have a good team of experienced and well-trained counselors and psychotherapists, many trained by Ragini and a few others in the transactional analysis space. And that's a critical one because it's important to have an in-depth, like these 5 drivers that you talked about. There are many more theories in
Yeah.
TA. And there's loads that TA can do for you. So the counselors and therapists we have are people who have gone through that space. And to that extent, they are far more sort of open to understanding and, providing the right support when required.
Yeah.
And we have films, we have short videos, etc. It's worth checking out. You check out the website as well. And anything, write to us here. We will immediately respond on the same day. Here meaning at contact@infinumgrowth.com.
Okay, cool. So I guess we should wind up the session here. It's already 5:23. Okay. Thank you so much, Ragini ma'am, and thank you so much, Rita sir, for joining in today's Smart Talk. And I hope this session was helpful for the audience, and they will reach out to you on either on your website, or I guess you are active on LinkedIn and Instagram as well. So people, please go check out their LinkedIn profile and Instagram profile
Yes.
as well. Follow them and be in their touch if you want any further assistance. Okay. And see you soon in the next edition of Smart Talk. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gaurav.
Thank you, Gaurav, so much. Yeah, and thank you everybody for your insightful questions.